Hi everyone and welcome to Just Love. My name is Paula and I'm here with Judy. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
In this episode, it'll be a bit of a follow-up to our last episode in which Judy shared a lot of information, and so we wanted to just unpack it that little bit more. Judy, you spoke about how the Repterrans set something off interdimensionally and lost control of their experiment, and it's your understanding that they may have even caused the Earth to drop down to 3D from a higher vibrational frequency. Can you talk to us more on that?
From what I understand, back at the time of Atlantis, experiments were carried out trying to shift the planet to a higher frequency, but they were ignoring the fact that this is not just about scientific technology, but rather more to do with spirituality. Technology not backed up by spiritual understanding always ends up causing problems. It reminds me of these people who attempt to live a super long, if not eternal life by spending megabucks on dietary supplements, etc. There's some guy been featured on the news lately who's doing this. The cryogenics industry is pulling people into the same money-wasting trap. Why the heck would you want to preserve your old body? I'd rather reincarnate into a new one. It'd be funny if that guy who's spending all that money got run over by a bus next week. Hey, it's all about technology going too far without proper spiritual understanding to balance it out.
That's interesting. I saw that guy too.
Yes.
So this question relates to the 5 genesis events of human life on our planet. First of the 5, the mer or fish people, when the Earth was vibrating at a higher energy frequency. And then as more land started to emerge, the second genesis was the ant people. The third culture to emerge was the reptoids, or Repterrans as you call them. Fourth, the Repterrans and Anunnaki went on to bioengineer the Sasquatch people. And finally us. So in a nutshell, does that pretty much sum it up?
Yep, that's the long and short of it.
So you also talk about an ethnic cleansing carried out on the ant people by the Repterrans and Anunnaki. I know you mentioned before that the ant people are an earlier race of greys that had their beginnings on Earth. Is that why some of the greys cannot reproduce? Were they this earlier Earth human race, and is this why they need Earth human DNA to help to heal them?
Yes, exactly. The ant people's culture was almost destroyed at that time, which is why they needed to be moved off planet and resettled elsewhere. This too is a reason why, with help by higher beings, they were assisted in the creation of the partly non-biological containers, into which, as souls, they were able to still experience physical life when they were no longer able to reproduce normally.
So, when using these containers, where did they experience physical life? You said they were relocated, but Earth was their home. Did some of them stay here? You said that they went underground. Did some stay on the surface as well? And if so, what did they look like?
They were forced to retreat further and further underground, with the Repterrans coming after them. They used to come out at night to tend the earth and carry out their ecological work. One of the Native American nations called them the Moon People because many of them were helped to shift there to the moon, where I think some are still located, while others were taken to the Zeta star system and other places. As for their appearance, at first they were very insectoid-looking, with extra legs and antennas, just as modern-day humans were covered in hair and closely resembled the primate species from which they'd been developed. The ant people gradually evolved to a more human appearance, but still with insectoid characteristics, just as some Earth humans still have a slightly primate look about them. The more insectoid-type body was perfect for space travel, which is why these semi-artificial grey-type bodies are now used by many star cultures as spacesuits. Our body, whether biological or not, is simply a container for the real us, which is the soul. None of us, Earth human, grey or otherwise, is our body. Our body is just a vehicle for the soul to make use of for the span of a lifetime, at the end of which we discard it.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the conflict the ant people experienced with the Repterrans?
The ant people were drawn into warfare with the Repterrans and Anunnaki, just as present-day Earth humans are drawn into warfare. They dropped to a low vibration because of it, just as so many Earth humans have through all the conflicts. They did eventually mature spiritually past this need for conflict, but having been a creator race themselves, working on Earth alongside the nature spirits, they were horrified and appalled at the depths that they'd dropped down to, purely because of uncontrolled emotion, just as is happening on Earth now. They decided that emotion needed to be removed from their makeup to stop such a terrible thing ever happening again.
So that was an act of free will which allowed them to do that?
Yes, it was. But of course, this overreaction threw them out of balance the other way. And so they've also needed healing for this, as well as their inability to procreate. This is the reason why the universal governing body allowed the genetic program between present-day Earth humans and the former ant people of Earth to take place. One culture has too much out of control emotion and the other has lost their ability to feel emotion. The genetic program is helping to balance things out on both sides. As Courtney Brown talks about in his books Cosmic Voyage and Cosmic Explorers, the Greys are time travellers, so Earth is being visited by 3 different time zones of Greys. The early ones, the ant people, modern-day Greys and future Greys who are almost angelic.
All of this is most helpful to give us a deeper understanding.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we also need to include in our understanding the fake programmed life forms, the PLFs, being manufactured down here as part of the MyLab program and specifically made to resemble the genuine Greys. The result is utter confusion for many people having ET contact.
Yeah. Also, Judy, you talk of the Sasquatch people, the 4th Genesis. How is their presence still known on Earth today?
The Sasquatch people have been seen all over the world when they happen to come in through an interdimensional portal. In the region of the Himalayas, they're known as the Yeti. In America, they're called the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. And here in Australia, we call them Yowies. Of course, the 3D limited skeptics deny their existence because it can't be proven scientifically. But yes, many perfectly sane, sober people have seen them, and photos of them have been taken as well as tracks found.
Yeah. So many Earth humans have not woken up due to the Repterrans' extremely cunning ways. Many remain oblivious and many are leaving the planet. This is evident with the number of excess deaths and the number of stillborn babies being reported. In a conversation that we had the other day, you said that if this was not the case, you would be surprised. What do you mean by that?
Well, we're in the process of going through a major shift from 4th to 5th world consciousness, moving from 3D through 4D and into 5D. These planetary shifts always involve major exoduses from the planet. We saw this happening on one of our ships back at the end of 2019, with mega numbers of Earth people being brought on board, where we assisted them through the appropriate portals. Death is simply a passage through a portal for the real us, the soul, to shift to a finer dimension of reality. Some folks are ready for the planetary shift and some are not yet, while others feel that they can help the process more from the other side, hence the mass exodus going on. Those who are transitioning through war, illness or whatever can then reincarnate back to whatever version or frequency of Earth that they need to for their continuing soul expansion.
So there are different levels of conscious awareness playing out on Earth right now.
Yes. As Mars once said, there are multiple versions of Earth to suit our spiritual needs, and the increasing number of stillborn babies are no exception. Some souls are making a last-minute choice to hold off being born at this time. Whether we're in an adult body or that of a newborn baby, the body is just our vehicle, a container for us, the soul. A stillborn baby could be compared to the driver of a car who gets in behind the wheel, turns the ignition on, but then for some reason needs to abort the trip, turn the engine off and get out of the car. Maybe the driver's forgotten something or just decides not to go for some reason, but rather leave the trip until later. The point is, it's just the physical form that is a baby. The soul may be very advanced, ancient and all-knowing.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. So, in our last episode, I loved how you said that humans cannot be pushed beyond what they're able to handle on the evolutionary level. Some people need more time, but everything is as it should be. Spiritual awakening is never an easy process.
For sure. Everyone must be allowed to evolve at their own pace, and this must be respected. In the greater reality, there are no mistakes or accidents. Everything that happens for a reason. Within every situation, there are learning experiences. Even in the case of the stillborn babies we've just spoken about, there are always opportunities for learning experiences, either for the parents, the incoming child, or both.
Yeah. These words are extremely comforting, but unfortunately we do get lost down the various rabbit holes of fear, misinformation and disinformation while we are searching for the truth. How do we best navigate the various shades of rightness and wrongness in all of this information?
My advice is always to take up and carry out a spiritual practice of some sort. The key is to learn to step back from the emotions, and the only way we can do this is through a spiritual practice that helps us to raise our vibrational frequency to a higher level. For some of us, that may even involve just going out and digging in the garden or walking in nature. Nature is so healing. The whole idea is to do whatever helps you to not get pulled down into the polarity of fear and anger.
So does it all come back to the fact that we live on a dualistic planet?
Yes, the earth we're experiencing in the here and now is right down on the first rung of the human ladder, hence the major polarity being played out. This is a massive learning experience for everyone and provides the opportunity to choose between love and fear. I know some people will argue that this is all very well if you're living in a peaceful country, but what about those trapped in war-torn areas of the planet? But we choose our place, time and circumstances of our birth from the higher soul perspective before we're born. This is a free will pre-birth choice, just as are the circumstances, time and manner of our death. I know this is a hard concept to get our human heads around, but the ETs involved in crashed ships, some of whom died and others were taken prisoner by the Earth plane military, were in the same position, as I talk about in our Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth book. After all, the Zeta Greys too are only human.
That's interesting.
So, if people would like to read more on all of this, my books are available from Amazon, and they are Human by Day, Zeta by Night, followed by The Zeta Message, then Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and my two most recent books, both Kindle editions, and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for listening. Please share, like and subscribe. Sending you all much love, and bye for now.